Thank you for getting here and hope you like the video. Enough of this world for now. Ellen's birthday was the next day, and Joe had a precise plan. He would come up to the top of her house in the Manganese Quarter and jump down. Let her see how much he loved her. Let her regret. And make her a birthday present. Joe got all his pocket money, all his shiny $5, and was about to go away, when some slight thought of being grateful visited his mind. He wanted to see his parents, but as the father was too busy, slaughterhouse took lots of time, he could only see his mother. He did not even open the door completely, but already heard his mom say, "Get lost! I do not want to see your filthy face. You are not capable of anything at your age. Look at the normal children. Where are you going, by the way?" "For a walk," Joe quickly answered and shut the door of the apartment. He was about to see some normal children. The streets of Fortside were filled with such individuals. He did not even leave the courtyard when he heard some woman say, "Joshua, I need you for 5 minutes." That was too strange. He never saw that woman before and could not even make out who she could be. But he still came up, just hoping not to get into something shady. "Tell me, Joshua," she started in an angry voice, "who gave you permission to ask money the way you do? My little nephews came home completely shocked by what happened. You, the fine sir, caught them in the street and literally made them give you the sick money you needed. You know why you've done that?" Then she looked straight at the frightened teenager and burst in all kinds of language. After shouting for another 5 minutes, many children were around, but they found nothing unusual in this quarrel. That was Fortside, after all. She addressed herself to Joe again. "So, what can you say, huh? What can you say?" "I'm sorry," said Joe, even though he did not have a single clue of what she was talking about. "I was wrong. This will not happen again." "It would better not happen," the woman answered, "because otherwise we will get every cent from your family in court. As of now, I will tell all neighbors not to even talk to you. Get lost!" she yelled, and then she let Joe go. "What a wonderful world," Joe said to himself. "It seems I get hated for the things I did not do. Ha, neat. At least everyone loves Ellen." He made his way to the bus stop on Cancelian Avenue and was soon on board a bus going right where he needed. Manganese Quarter's main entrance. With the Lostport buses you could see a transformation of everything as you crossed the Goat Hope River. Nothing was the same in Fortside as the Reach Side. 7 p.m. in Lostport. People of the Reach Side were getting home from work and the streets were beautifully illuminated, especially the ones in the Manganese Quarter. "This stop is Mitchell Avenue. Next stop is the clinic of Sir..." It was time to get off the bus. This is exactly what Joe did. He was able to pass through security by showing his old Manganese ID. Yes, they had such cards there. Nobody cared that the ID was back from 2009. Strange for well-trained security specialists. Here they were, the houses that were lucky to become home to Ellen Bricers. Joe knew exactly where Ellen lived. Even if he did not remember his childhood, he could have at least looked at the LifeSpace photos, but he did not forget a single thing. You see, when you are in love, you tend to remember every word your loved one says or writes. Even something as strange as their favorite part of some song's lyrics or the exact minute when they were born. The house where Ellen lived was shaped like an L. Joe took binoculars with him to look at Ellen's home for the last time. That is why he planned of getting on the other side of the house, so that to see her windows. Another security guard waited for the curious trespassers next to the ladder that led to the room. He was an old gentleman and seemed to be nearly asleep when Joe got closer. But he still managed to spot the youngster. "Where are you going?" he shouted. "Do you have a permission?" Joe had a special thing planned for such a moment. He pulled out his father's old business identification card. "I am a representative of Callahan Development. I need to check the roof," he said. "All right, go ahead." Joe perfectly knew that the old guard worked there back in the days when his father's company actually owned the whole manganese. He always made jokes long ago, called Joe and Ellen a husband and a wife. The old guard was known for thinking slowly, and therefore could not realize one important fact until Joe was far up. "Wait! You cheated!" he shouted. "Callahan Development does not work here anymore. Get down immediately." But it was too late. Joe already made his way to the roof. Here he was, on top of Manganese. 13 floors up was a tough run. The whole ridge side was right in front of him, with the lights of Fortside glimmering in the distance across the river. He pulled out his binoculars and looked at the house. He finally found Alan's windows. You see, even if Joe forgot where Alan lived back in 2009, he got all he needed from LifeSpace. He finally saw Alan. She was sitting on her bed, with phone in her hands, typing something. Then she put her headphones on and laid in her bed. In a minute or so, she smiled, closed her eyes, and seemed to have fallen asleep. Something about seeing her made Joe want to live again, but then came the realization that he was just basically stalking her and had no hopes of even talking to her again. It was that moment when he got a message on his phone from his school friend Alex Chumash. Chumash was a joker, the funny boy with lots of nicknames and funny things to be said about, at the same moment having desire to rule the world one day. Such an interesting person. He was a good friend for Joe in everything not related to Alan. As soon as Joe mentioned Brycers, he always started making silly jokes and ranting about Joe being in love. This time he wrote a typical message for him. "What's cracking, homie JC?" "Goodbye, Alex. It has been a good time we spent together," answered Joe and got back to his binoculars. "What?" the reply came. "I am tired of screaming in the room of death, Alex. I am tired of waiting for a response from a silent." "What are you talking about? Is it all because of BRYCERS?" Alex typed. "If so, you are wrong. Stop now, there is plenty of fish in the sea. Let her go, man." "I cannot. I dedicated so much to her. I wrote her a book." "No one gives a flying interest about your book, including her. Stop it, I will be embarrassed by seeing you with Brycers, and finish your goodbye nonsense." Saying the same thing about that fish in the sea to Tozerman. He is not even interested in her. "That is how you lose a friend, mate," Alex typed. "Come on, Brycerize yourself, do whatever you want, get lost." Alex Chumash went offline then. Here he was, a not-so-genuine friend. His father sent him a video right after. Some of the slaughterhouse routine, them leading a poor young calf to become hamburger some little kid will leave on his plate. A painful, not definitely cheering experience to watch. For another minute or so, Joe was looking at Ellen. She now got up and started dialing someone. Of course, asking Tozerman out for a date, Joe thought. "Goodbye, cruel world, watch me fly." Ellen. He counted to 4, to 6, to 19. Now he was ready to jump. But nothing can justify suicide. No religion, no law, no relationship, no position. And something will always be sent by Lady Destiny to prevent this horrible action. You just need to see it and not take the permanent solution to a short-term problem. And Joe was saved. Right a second before he would jump, he heard his phone ring. Hardly anyone called Joe, so every call, even a call of hate, was immediately answered. Joe was shocked to see what the caller identificator showed. That was Ellen's number that he saved from her LifeSpace. Ellen was not calling Agent DAT, she was calling Joe. Joe did not answer a call faster in his life. "Hi, it's me, Ellen," the caller said. "I figured out we could chill out together. Agent DAT is so busy nowadays, and that is when I thought of you. Can we meet in the Manganese kitchen? We have not seen each other for so long. I have some great things we can do together. Can you come?" Joe stood there on top of Ellen's house, stunned by what he heard. "Sure," he said in an excited voice. "I had a different thing planned, but I will cancel it right now. Thanks, Ellen. Thanks so much. See you in Manganese kitchen." Joe immediately went back to the ladder. Now he wanted to leave. Everything made sense now. One thing brought home. Ellen remembers him. This June evening in Lostport was warm and bright. The sky was pink and yellow hours after the sunset. There was not a single cloud. The city was illuminated in all colors, getting ready for the rock festival in a week or so. Under this beautiful sky, the trees were in blossom and the city was in opulence. And under this beautiful sky, the life of Joe Callahan changed because of one single call. Speaking of stairs, he went down. Speaking of life, he rose up. Now he was about to meet his dream.
Can we meet in the Magani's kitchen, for love's sake? Alright, I'm finished. And this video is 10:18.
Alright, and now I will finally move on to creating the second chapter. Finally. And by the way, this whole story is just... I'm trying to say some simple words to one person whose name is... Alright, guys. Thank you so much once again, and we'll see very, very soon whenever the second chapter releases. And thank you so much for taking a chance on me. I know it ain't easy, but I hope to be worth it. Alright, this was a quote from a song. If you know which song, feel free to comment.